Markets are imploding worldwide. In Australia, Saudi Arabia, China, Qatar, and the United States, markets are plummeting today in what seems to be a global sell-off. In the United States, there was a bigger point loss today than in September 2008 during the housing market crash. In China, their government directed state pension holdings to the market to stop this slide, and the markets are still down. The mainstream media is sending all these complicated mumbo-jumbo words to disinfo you. But in this video, in simple terms, we're going to explain to you why this is happening and how this is happening.
Shalom, Israel. This is GMS Houston. His brother Tyzer Pie, and I got with me today
Brother Kanat.
Yeah, and we basically getting together to do this sit down going into the financial collapse of America, because the U.S. dollar is losing its foothold as the world reserve currency, and we see that this dollar as well as America both are in collapse and are falling. And we just got some information that we like to share with you brothers. We was wanting to go into this article. Now the title of this article, which come off of, I got this off of Before It's News, and it's titled "Bank Bail-ins Have Begun. Martial law and World War III are right around the corner." And if you brothers been paying attention, you see that basically World War III is kicked off over there in Syria, man, with Russia bombing, basically doing airstrikes on Syria. Now you got Iran and Hezbollah going in on foot. And this article here is from Dave Hodges, and Dave Hodges is a well-researched Edomite. When it comes to the economic news, he pretty much on point. But anyway, this article, man, what we're gonna bring out, it basically points out a lot, and we're just gonna go into this very quick. So I'll have the brother bring that out if you would.
It would appear that your bank is preparing to go on a bank holiday. No, not a vacation, but a holiday. After reading this article, you may find it prudent to check on the liquidity of your bank accounts and investment monies. Why? Because bank bail-ins appear to be commencing. The elite have driven down the price of gold and are buying it at breakneck speed. That should be enough signal that the economic end is near.
Right. Yeah, the elites or whoever it is that's in power, man, they've been they've been suppressing the price of gold and silver to basically reflect around the world a strong dollar, because gold is traded in the U.S. dollar. Like I said, that's the world reserve currency. So they've been trying to keep the price of gold as low as possible in U.S. dollars to signal strength in the dollar. But now we have what's going on. The Chinese is basically saying that they want to raise the price, they want to set the price of gold. And this was brought out by Jim Willie on the Golden Jackass radio show, which you brothers can see that on YouTube. Jim Willie goes in too, man. It's called the Golden Jackass show, and he was saying that basically China wants to set the price of gold at around 25, 26, 2700, which would be a more honest reflection of the price of gold right now in U.S. dollar. But I mean, if you was to ask me, that still wouldn't do it justice, because really in the U.S. dollar, I would say maybe 3,500 would be an accurate pricing in U.S. dollars for gold. But anyway, they've been suppressing the price, keeping the price low to reflect the strong dollar, but the dollar is weak. And this is what we're gonna go into today. So, yeah, you can read that part again.
Okay, the elite have driven down the price of gold and are buying it at breakneck speed. That should be enough signal that the economic end is near.
Okay, that's good, because what happened with the Rothschilds, man, back in at Waterloo when Napoleon was
in the market? During the Battle of Waterloo, they told the United Kingdom that Napoleon won. The markets crashed in the United Kingdom. They were for nothing. The Rothschilds bought them all up. And when the real news came out that Napoleon lost at the Battle of Waterloo, the stocks went up. And magically, the Rothschilds became the most powerful family in the entire world.
So this is what they're doing. by suppressing the price of gold, they've been buying up all this gold, and so when the true price, or when they set it, the price at it, you know, its accurate value, then they sitting on all the money. They gonna have a whole ton of money. So this is just, you know, the same. They running the same plays. So you brothers check this out.
This is a paragraph. Just over 20 years ago, international banker George Soros made his famous investment by shorting the British pound. His most famous investment by shorting the British pound and pocketing $1 billion in the process.
Right, this same play, using the same playbook. Go ahead.
Following this watershed event, he had become well known for moving money and then betting on stock market crashes. In several instances, Soros had been known to rig various markets to fail for his own gain as well as the gain of the international banker cartel.
Right, because Soros is just a boy for the bankers, you know. And he's been a good boy, so they let him get his shekels. Go ahead.
And also known as the Bank of International Settlements.
Which that's the central bank of central banks. The Bank of International Settlements, they distribute money to central banks. Go ahead.
Several months ago, Soros raised eyebrows by making $1 billion stock bet against the S&P 500.
So did you catch that? He made a bet, a $1 billion bet against the S&P 500, which is the Standard & Poor 500 stock market, man, of America down in Wall Street. But go ahead.
At that particular time, Soros proclaimed, though his actions, that there were warning signs of coming S&P 500 troubles, which signaled dangerous times ahead for the U.S. economy. Because Glass-Steagall had been replaced, many banks have a direct and indirect presence in the stock market, as evident by the folly of the credit swap derivatives market. Going into the final few days of the year, the American stock market has an unpredicted bubble, which is reminding many of the months leading of the 1929 stock market crash.
Okay, now let's stop right there and let's go to Zephaniah 1 and 11. Because you see here, the article said that George Soros made $1 billion bet against an American stock market, the S&P. You got a few of them. You got the S&P, Standard & Poor 500, which I believe that's the top 500 companies. You got NASDAQ, and it's another major one that's slipping my mind. But the S&P that's heavy, man. And if it crashes, then the rest of them crashes. So let's read Zephaniah 1:11, see what that says, brother.
Zephaniah 1:11. Howl, ye inhabitants of Maktesh.
Howl, ye inhabitants of Maktesh, man. So now when you go into Maktesh back in the day, that was basically like that was the ancient, that would be, so that you could understand, that was the Wall Street of the ancient days. It was a market area where people did business and traded. So now, coming up to today, Maktesh is Wall Street. And it's saying, howl, ye inhabitants of Maktesh. Why is it saying howl? Because a lot of people are gonna lose their shirts, so to speak. With this stock market crashes, you got a lot of people that put their trust in Babylon, man. And that don't just go for investors, those who have stock in this company, bonds in that company, and this and that. But that also goes, like you read the opening, or you heard the brother read the opening paragraph of this article. Is talking about banking holidays. Banks are gonna shut down because the banks are on those five. He just read that with the repealing of Glass-Steagall. Many banks have direct and indirect presence in these markets. So banks will shut down. People are gonna lose their savings. This is why it's saying, "Howl, ye inhabitants of Maktesh." A lot of clowns out there, man, who mocked and scoffed. A lot who just chose to turn a deaf ear to the prophets. They gonna lose their shirt. And you got them Edomites out there. They've been hoarding and preparing. You got some diligent Edomites out there, and of other nations. But for the most part, here in America, man, when this stock market crashes, these Americans are gonna be the last to know. Go ahead, brother, from the top.
Howl, ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down.
All the merchant people are cut down. Read it, brother.
All they that bear silver are cut off. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and punish the men that are settled on their lees.
Right, those that trust in Babylon. When you settle on your lease, that means basically you at ease. You happy with the status quo. You just that nigga that want to get along, go along and get along and make it in Babylon. You one of them IUIC ass niggas. Cause that's what Nate teaching them to be settled on their leaves. But this is not their time, man. This is the time to be proactive. And when I say proactive, I don't mean go and invest in a bunch of gold and silver, cause like the brother just read, they are cut off. If you ain't got it by now, you probably won't get it. But you invest in this truth. If you of Israel and you feel like you may be the elect, you invest in this truth. You know? That's the investment that you need to be making. So go ahead, brother, read.
That say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. Therefore their good shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof.
So it also says, therefore their goods shall become a man. A booty for who? A booty for Israel, man. Everything that these people are hoarding up, and that the elites, they getting all this gold, they heaping it up, you know, heaping up this treasure. They gathering all that for Israel, for the rulers of this next kingdom, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that repent, come back to your heritage, man, and all of the elect. So go ahead, read.
The great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasteneth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
That's right, man. The great day of the Lord is near, man. Man, it's so near. It's even at the Lord is even at the door, man, and ready to bust through that motherfucker. So, hey, we just that close. You know, you can't stress that enough. Go ahead,
That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess.
Yeah, not a day of joy and happiness and peace. The Lord is coming back with a sword. The book of Matthew tells you that. It's gonna be peace once Yahweh get all his enemies under his foot, man. That's when it's gonna be peace and happiness for the nation of Israel. Go ahead, brother, read.
A day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
That's right. Everybody here in America will be made speedy riddance of, man, when 200 million nuclear warheads detonate on this place, man. And it said neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Most High's wrath. You know, this whole land is going to be devoured, man. And that just like when the brother go and pull out Ezekiel 7 and 19, they going to be casting that silver and gold into the streets because it's not going to do them any good. Like I said, man, you're going to find out in that day what the real money is, man. What the brothers have been laboring, man, to produce and to store up. We've been storing our treasures in heaven, real money. That silver and gold ain't going to keep a spit snatch off your ass. You know? That silver and gold ain't going to keep that guillotine off your neck. That that silver and that gold ain't gonna keep them bayonets from thrusting you through. You know, but we stir up our faith in heaven, man, in the hopes that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is gonna deliver us from Jacob's trouble, man, because that's what it's called, Jacob's trouble. These times that are coming, man, specifically for you stiff-necked, hard-headed niggas, man, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of the nation of Israel, man. But now, don't get it twisted. You other nations got your judgment coming too. But hey, let's look at that Ezekiel 7 and 19. Huh?
Right, Ezekiel 7 and 19. They shall cast the silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord.
So yeah, that gold and that silver that y'all holding on to, laboring to get and purchase and store up, you know, as a hedge of the day of calamity, that's not going to be able to deliver you. And that, you know, for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to repent, and y'all would not hear, so, you know, that calamity is going to befall y'all. And we going to laugh. We going to laugh. So, yeah, brother, hey, if you would bring that out again.
Ezekiel 7 and 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity.
Yeah, and that's the point. It is the stumbling block of their iniquity. Now, we're going to go back to that article, man. There's some more good points in that article, man, that you brothers need to hear this. So, yeah, we right here. If you would,
Disturbingly, Searles have demonstrated that he had both repeatedly demonstrated that he had both accurate and advanced knowledge of the stock market and bank crashes in the past. Subsequently, savvy investors kept a very close eye on his money investment movements and resorted holdings as Searles in the canary in the mine. He is the world's ultimate economic hitman, and both bankers and politicians watch his every move with the fear and his apprehension.
Yeah, like I said, Soros is an insider. He got ties on the inside with the bankers. The whole stock market is rigged. And so these bankers, they basically let George Soros know what they're gonna do before they do it. Cause like I said, he's a good boy, so they let him make some shekels. So yeah, okay, read on, brother. Let's get into the point.
According to the 2014 filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, it was revealed that Searles sold his holdings in Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Bank of America.
So did you hear that? So now this is heavy. This is why the scripture says, "Howl, ye inhabitants of Maktesh." Did you hear that? Soros sold his holdings in Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Bank of America. These are all basically Americans' staples of American economy. So why would he get rid of his holdings in those three major banks of America? Because America is getting ready for a fall. A crash is coming. Soros is the man to watch. You watch his movements with his money. And people got hip to that, so they watch George Soros and they pay attention to what he does. And right now he's moving his money out of these three major banks of America, and then we're gonna see what he's doing with this money. So go ahead, brother, read.
Soros subsequently moved his money and took up new positions in gold and tech stocks associated with Chinese money movement. Soros have moved his money to RF Micro Devices, Nuance Communication, Marvel Technology Group, Nokia Corp, and the Cypress Semiconductor. Soros also boosted his stake in Herbalife and took up a new position in Yamaha Gold and Rico Gold and New Gold Inc. This sent shockwaves among aware investors in the banking and stock market arena.
So that's heavy right there. You got two things going on. Soros pulling money basically out of American banks, or out of the holdings of these banks. And then when you look at where he's investing it, one of the things that caught my eye, it said RF micro devices, which is the radio frequency micro devices, which what is that? That's letting you know what's coming up in the future. Cause you're gonna put your money where the future is, where there's a future, where you know something that's gonna, be profitable. So he's letting you know right there that RF micro devices are going to be a hot thing, because as the scriptures say, let's get that real quick, Revelation 13.
This is Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
So that's only the white man. Only the white man will profit off of your death. Because when you take this chip, that's your death. He's basically going to profit off of your death. And that mark of the beast is the mark of ownership, that this system, this beast owns you. And once you basically signing your life over to this devil, it's a wrap. You denying Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai forever. That's why it's no turning back when you take this mark. So they planning on profiting off of this mark. So that says a lot. Not only are you niggas gonna accept this chip, but that y'all are willing to pay for this chip. So that's heavy. Niggas are willing to pay for their destruction. That's how brainwashed Esau got people here in America, especially here in America. And overseas, a lot of people, they just gonna die. But here in America, I can see them paying to get that chip. I can see that. Let's bring that out one more time.
Revelation 13 to 16. And he called us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
So, right here we have, man, showing you that America is on its way out. Financial collapse is at the door, and America's decline is not soon after. But till next time, brothers, we say Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Well, first of all, Kal Halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham, and Shalom.
Shalom.